think you could do it, did you?
It's a good start. A little bit left.
You didn't think you could reach the summit.
You got to keep moving. Let's keep moving. Let's go.
You didn't think you could be an Olympian.
Drive. Come on now. There you go. Use your arms.
You never thought you could experience the great outdoors. You didn't think you could experience sports ever again.
Keep going.
Today is a new day.
Don't quit on me. Keep going.
Your world is now and forever changed because you did it. You are doing it, and you will do the things you love again.
You're very best. You're very best.
If you want to play it, run it, hunt it, swim it, hike it, you've come to the right place. Welcome to Game Changers. It's time to change the game. That is right. We are changing the game every day of the week, every day that ends in Y. At least that's what I'm trying to do. And welcome to Game Changers. My name is Jonathan Price, and usually I'm joined with my co-host, Ethan Johnson, but he has some other things that are going on. But man, I love having him on and can't wait to have him back on the show. Today is a fun day for me because we have Wendy Fagan. She's really the driving force behind Envision Blind Sports. And Wendy has dedicated her career to really empowering individuals with visual impairments through sports, recreation, different creating opportunities really for everyone to engage, you compete and thrive. And whether you're an athlete, an advocate, or you're simply curious about really the transformative power of sports, you're going to want to keep into this conversation and really listen and dive in. Before we get to Wendy, though, it's football season, and I am on cloud nine because Thursday nights are football. Friday nights are high school football, which I don't follow too much. Saturday is college football. My little man is getting into flag football, so it's all day football. Sunday is all day football, and it's a good thing that I am not with anybody right now because I would be in a world of trouble. Not that, football is going to trump everything else, but right now, boy, I just really love this season and this time of life. We've got also, if you're an outdoorsman, hunting season is right around the corner. We've got fishing, we got hunting, we got hiking. It's just an amazing time. And really, fall is my wonderful, wonderful personal, time of year. It's my favorite time of year. Wendy, what is your favorite time of year?
Winter.
Really?
Hands down.
Okay. Why winter?
I love to ski. I love the snow.
Okay.
I think it's probably the most peaceful thing there is. I love to be in a snowstorm. I love to be in the mountains. I love to be on a pair of skis. So there's nothing better than going outside and seeing about a foot of fresh snow. So yeah, winter is hands down my favorite season.
Okay. So where do you ski?
Oh, you name it, everywhere, as well as, United States. I go overseas and ski with my daughter. Last winter, we went to Austria, which was kind of fantastic, and love to ski out west. We went last year to the Ski Spectacular through Move United out in Breckenridge. We also take our blind skiers up to Mount Snow in Vermont. This will be our third year in a row that we're going up there. And then we do suck it up and ski in Pennsylvania. It's a bit sad. It is nothing to write home about, but hey, we still get to teach a lot of kids and adults how to ski. So, and we have skied under some very sad conditions, but we just do it and it works. They make enough snow so we can get down the mountain.
So and I don't remember where it is, but it was so interesting. I want to say it's in India, but I don't know for sure. So don't quote me on this, but there's this facility where it's like 6, 7, 8 stories high. And you kind of take this, I guess a chairlift, if you will, but you can ski. It's like on this like grass stuff that you can ski down and learn how to ski. Dubai. Yeah. Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
that's crazy. I think they're not the only one that has it. I know Dubai has it, but I think there's other places. I want to say there might be somewhere in Canada, but I know there's a couple different places where I think it's crazy. I've never done skiing indoors. I don't think I would love it because part of the joy of skiing is being on the mountain and the views and the real snow.
Right.
So
There's nothing like getting that
was,
snow down your pants to really get the blood flowing, you know?
Yes, exactly. Nothing like a little bit of base planning to wake you up.
Oh my gosh. In Colorado, we have the most beautiful powder that I'm a little biased, of course, but we have some really great skiing in Colorado, and people come from all over the world to ski Colorado, and it's fun. The last time I was actually not skiing, I was snowboarding, was about 15 years ago. And I'm the kind of guy that's hey, watch me try this. And so I was doing jumps and rails and stuff all day long, and I wanted to try a new trick. And I was already tired from all day of snowboarding, and I just completely laid out flat on my back in midair, landed on my back, and that was the last time I was on a snowboard.
Oh no! No! I don't love to hear stories like that. That makes me sad.
It's not because of the injuries that I suffered that day, on that fateful day, but it's really just the timing of it. And I really want to get back up there, and maybe you guys can come out and we'll go skiing together. And
I would love that. Winter Park is where I had my beginning roots back after college. I went out there and did an internship with the ski school up there and learned how to teach kids and adults with all different disabilities back when Hal O'Leary was running it back in the day in the 80s. Nice. And that was one of my first experiences with blind athletes. And
very cool.
Yeah, we've skied many, many times in Colorado, many different resorts. I have a lot of favorites out there. Love Copper Mountain. Yeah. My husband had his big crash at Beaver Creek. Oh. And fortunately I was able to get him. He was taken out by a snowboarder. So,
oh man. That's crazy.
A little tragic, but he has gotten back on skis after that, so I'm quite thankful for that. Yeah, well, so we need to get you back out on skis.
Yes, for sure. Well, let's wrap on that for a little bit, because you have a unique beginning and a unique kind of genesis into how you got into adaptive sports and working with Envision. So walk me through that journey, if you will.
Just my journey into Envision Sports. Back when I was a kid, I always knew I wanted to be a teacher. I had some real positive role models of teachers in my life. So I thought, I'll go into special ed. Got to college, and I suddenly realized, holy cow, special ed means I'm staying in a classroom. This isn't good for me. I was always an athlete, always outside, grew up on a farm. And I was like, okay, this isn't going to cut it. So I walked over to the physical education department, said, how can I combine these two loves? And I met this professor that was willing to work with me. And if you think back, I was in college from 81 to 85, that wasn't a time that disability sport was huge. And I said, hey, I want to mix special ed and PE. And he's like, let's figure it out. Allowed me to do my student teaching half the time in adapted PE. And that was just the jump start of it. And then, like I said, I went out to Winter Park, Colorado, worked with the disabled ski school for a season. And then after that, I just realized that my love was in either physical education, working with kids with disabilities, or adaptive sport or disability sport. And so I just kept pursuing both. Went out to Texas, got my master's in adapted physical education at Texas Women's University. And they said, look, find out what you love. So I tried every disability sport I could get my hands on, every wheelchair sport, just Special Olympics, everything. And I met the most spectacular group of men when I knocked on a door and at the Texas Commission for Blind, and met a man named Scott Hudson and said, hey, do you know anybody that wants to play goal ball? I thought, what a better way. And he said, yes, gathered up a group of the guys. And we started the journey with blind sports by coaching a men's team of goalball in Texas, and never looked back. I think they had so many things, had huge impacts on my life. I could go on for hours, but we don't need that. But I think of all the greatest impacts, it would probably be that group of men, because there was so much joy and so much fun and so much appreciation for what my husband and I were doing with them, that I thought, all right, I think I found it. I think I found what I want to do in the land of adaptive/disability sport. And I've been doing blind sports ever since. So that was in 1990. So
Good
I've
grief.
been around a while.
It's not like you've done anything of, it's not like, holy smokes. That's really impressive. Thank you for sharing all that. And it's a really unique journey, because it sounds like they really created a degree specifically for you. I don't remember specific degrees being around like that.
No, they didn't. They allowed me to get my health and physical education degree, but I got my minor in special education. And then because I had one professor who believed in me, Dr. Jim Mill in IUP, Indiana University of Pennsylvania, and he said, I'll find you a internship where you can do adaptive PE, which was unheard of.
Yeah.
And then most of my jobs after that were somehow, once I got my master's in APE, I worked at the Fort Worth school system for 7 years, I think, in adaptive PE, and worked with all different types of disabilities there. And eventually we worked our way back to Pennsylvania with a few pit stops in between. So yeah, I just think I kept meeting the right people that would be that key that would be like, okay, this is your next step. And I feel like I could say that over and over again. There's been many times through my career where I've been given these amazing opportunities, and then something happens that just makes sure that I never let go of the vision of ultimately, really trying to promote and make people more aware of blind sports. And I'm so grateful to so many people for a lot of divine intervention, for just people that when you're like, oh my gosh, why am I doing this? I'm done. And then 2 seconds later, you realize like, there's no way I'm done. I will do this until the day I die.
That's awesome. Most people, they have this genesis moment of a story or a kind of a life-changing event that led them down a particular path. Was there a genesis event for you? If so, what was that?
It's funny because my husband will tell me it's one thing and I'm like, no, I don't think that was it. So, and then I think there's others. And so to be quite honest, I don't think there was that one aha moment. I think there was a push when I was in my master's degree, and Dr. Claudine Sherrill said, find something you love and do it well rather than doing a lot of things not well. So it's like, oh my gosh, I love wheelchair sports and I love CP sports and this is exciting too. And I thought, but if I spread myself too thin, and I think that is the best advice I ever got from someone. And I said, okay, Wendy, you need to figure out what really excites you in the land, because I knew sports excited me. I knew I loved working with people with disabilities. And I'm like, how can I combine them? And I don't know. I just think it's a combination of multiple things that just clicked, and it said, this is it. And I never looked back. Like I just dropped everything else and stuck with blind sports. So, and I think it helped that early on, I got the opportunity to coach at the Paralympics in '96.
Whoa.
With the women's goalball team.
That's
and
cool.
So that was another reinforcement of, okay, that was fun, got to do that experience. So I feel like I've done from like the ultimate lowest of low with like a couple kids in Pennsylvania all the way up to the international level. But I have to say, I've loved every level. I've done state level, national level, international, but grassroots will always be my favorite. Like getting people that just don't know anything about blind sports and getting them excited is absolutely my favorite. But unfortunately, I don't have that one. I think I have about 100 moments where I can tell you this is the reason I'm in blind sports.
Well, and because of your background in all of those accessible sports, you not only spread yourself really thin, but then you're like, look, I'm no longer spreading myself thin. I'm going to surround myself with people who want to do the same thing that I'm doing. And poof, Envision Sports. So kind of tell me about that moment and why you created Envision Sports, and then tell us about all of Envision.
Well, that was more of a slap in the face specific moment. So
I thought so.
My husband and I had a long route from when we got married and moved. We were in many different states, and we eventually worked our way back to Pennsylvania. And I got involved, and we had VIP sports, which nobody knew what VIP sports meant. We thought we were being like incredibly creative and thought, oh, how unique this is. And I realized like this is a really not working the way we wanted to. But we started out with a small sports camp. That's all we were, a summer sports camp. And then it kept growing and growing and growing. And then I just got exposed to some other people. And literally we were starting to grow. you're trying to raise money, and we weren't a nonprofit. And people that saw what I were doing sat down with me. We started to get involved with different sports in the Pittsburgh region, started getting embraced by some of the huge supporters in Pittsburgh. And they're like, look, you need to be a nonprofit. But it wasn't even that. I sat down with Mark and I said, if I get hit by a truck tomorrow, all the work that we have done, or actually I said bus, I said, if I get hit by a bus tomorrow, this is done. This is done. I have not done anything to ensure that someone can just step in and take over. And I thought, so what am I doing? So I care so much about promoting disability sport, promoting sports for everyone, yet I'm building a program with no sustainability. And that was such a slap. And then I met all the right people at all the right time. Can't tell you how many times this happened in my life. And they said, look, you need to be a nonprofit. And all the right people stepped in to help. And they said, first thing you got to do is change your name so that it makes sense so that people can find you. And I'm like, well, what do I do? I do sports for the blind. Yeah. And I said, I need to make this super simple. I need to make it something blind sports so that if somebody Googles and wants to find blind sports, they can find us. And that was in 2017. Wow. And let me tell you, becoming a nonprofit changed everything and gave us that vision to say, all right, now's the time, to get your act together. And we're very grounded. We're trying to progress at a level that works for us. We're trying to stay true to our mission, but at the same time, becoming a program that other people can reach out to and be resources to. So it's been an amazing journey. And I won't get into it, but we had some amazing things happen this weekend, so it's one of those things where it's just come to, and becoming a nonprofit has been a game changer for us.
There you go. Well done.
Here we are.
That's and that is exactly why we exist, because we're trying to change the game of sports in general. And it's been so amazing to see all the adaptations from people, even in wheelchairs, being able to do climbing walls, to blind athletes doing the most extreme of sports, hiking Everest, kayaking the Grand Canyon, slacklining over canyons. We even I know of a girl, we're trying to get her on the show, but she is the first blind pilot to go coast to coast. And it's insane. There is truly no excuse for the low vision and blind community to say, I can't do that. And absolutely. This show exists to eliminate I can't altogether, which it's so much fun. Tell me some about the offerings that you guys have at Envision and the sports that you guys kind of help facilitate.
Okay, so we have 3 pillars. We have a camps and clinic pillar, we have an outdoor recreation pillar, and we have an education pillar. Okay. So we have 3 areas that we like to hit on. So camps were how we got founded with the summer camp, and then we realized, holy cow, we have to do more than just a summer camp. So then we started doing clinics, spring and fall clinics. And then we just realized, oh my goodness, we need to turn this into more monthly events, offer more opportunities. And then there was the wake up call of, hey, kids after they're 18, they still want to do sports. And so we had originally started 5 to 18, and we realized we were limiting ourselves. So then we started opening things to adults. And that's when I think our outdoor recreation program started to grow. So we just went on an 8-mile kayak this past weekend.
Wow.
And we really expanded our ski program, and we purchased extra tandem bikes, and we do a lot of things in the great outdoors, as well as inviting some of the adults to do some of our sporting clinics and not closing it off to people over the age of 18. Yeah. So now the only thing that's just kids is our camp, but everything's opened up. And then our third pillar, which I'm finding is as we're growing, and I literally was just working on it this morning, is that educational piece. How do I find a ball that makes sounds? How do I teach my physical education teachers how to work with my child? Just last week, I went up to a school of one of our kiddos that's totally blind, and the PE teacher was amazing. He's asking lots of questions like, how do I make this work? And I said, well, what have you done in the past with this particular kid. They're like, oh, he jumps on a trampoline. And my heart sinks. But I think, okay, he jumped on a trampoline for the first 6 years of school. But now we have teachers that are saying, this isn't right. How do we change it? Educate me. So that's a very exciting part of our program. We're saying, like, look, you want education? I'll come to you, and it's something that we just do. And I'm finding we're getting more and more requests on, I literally just sent out stuff today on, hey, here's where you find an audible kickball. This is where you find a soccer ball. This is how you modify. This is the game of goal ball. And so that's so every component that we have, I get super pumped and excited about because I love our sports. You name it, we do it. There's probably very few sports we haven't tried, but I love outdoor rec, and how crazy I am about skiing. And then education is just where the heart and the passion comes. You're just like, I'm going to get more people educated and understand, look, blind sport's really not that different than any sport.
Sure.
The athletes are able-bodied. They're able-bodied, and
that's
the adjustments can be so minimal for the success. So I love every aspect of it. And every part brings a different fire under me about what we can do to just keep spreading the word, because there's such a lack of education for blind sports. There's way too many holes in our country of people that just don't understand.
That's right. That's right. And speaking of success, are there any success stories that have really touched your heart when you opened up Envision Blind Sports?
A million.
I'm sure.
Oh my gosh. I goodness gracious. You got me on that one. There's so many, but I have a tendency to share my favorite.
Yeah.
I was skiing with Morgan, who's one of my teenage girls who's totally blind, and we were up at Mount Snow, and they have this beautiful wide open slope. And she's never had vision when she skied with us. She had some vision when she was younger, but now she's totally blind. And I said to her, it's really quiet. There's hardly anybody out here. Would you like me just to teach you the length and width of the slope so that you can ski it by yourself? Wow. And she said, sure. So, this child is amazing when it comes to her skills and abilities. So we went down the mountain. I taught her how wide it was. I taught her the terrain. We were fortunate there wasn't a lot of trees in the middle of this. There were no trees in the middle of this. And I said, on the ride back up, I said, okay, I just want you to ski, and you make every turn you want to make. You decide what you want to do. And the only time I'll speak to you is if there's something that I need you to I'll let you know if you need to turn. And she skied down that entire mountain, that entire hill, with 2 words. I had to tell her to turn left once, and I had to tell her to turn right once. And wow. I mean, she probably made 60 plus turns completely independent. And when we got to the bottom and we stopped, I think both of us were just, wow, numb, because we just realized, like, she's totally blind. She just skied down that hill on her own.
Let's go.
Literally made every decision on her own, literally skied it on her own. And I was just like, all right, I am good for the next 10 years. If nothing good happens,
oh my gosh,
that could take me through the next 10 years, because I don't often cry on a ski slope, but I did that day because I was like, this is what motivates me. This is what I dream about. This is the empowerment that I want to see in my athletes. And I have a million other special moments, but that's definitely in my top 5.
That's a cool moment. And especially, It was your daughter, right?
No, it was okay. One of my athletes. Yeah.
Oh, athletes. Okay. Sorry.
Yes.
But I can't imagine the freedom you just gave her. And when I think about all the freedoms that I have seen growing up and then working in this community, many times those realizations of freedoms are so far over the moon, incredible and exciting, that people who are a sightling, like myself, take complete advantage of. And we disregard it as something, oh yeah, that's just what we do. But even in the blind community, there are so many things that blind and low vision people can do that well, yeah, of course I can do that. Like feeding themselves or going to get the mail or going to the grocery store. Like to go down a mountain on your own and have that freedom is just life-changing. And I know Penn, one of our development directors, she loves skiing, and she often mentions that she feels like she's flying when she's skiing, and it's the most freedom that she has in her entire life. And to be able to go down the mountain, and I think that's a really interesting, unique aspect for somebody in the low vision community, because most of life is controlled, thought out. You're running into things, you're bumping things, you're, constantly looking out for something. But when you're on the slope, you've got wide open terrain. You can ski down the hill as fast as you want. You've got your guides. You have this unbridled freedom that you don't really get anywhere else. I think that's really special.
Yeah.
Did you have anything to add to that?
No, just it is such an amazing sport. Like I said, I love all our sports. Skiing will always have probably the biggest part of my heart of every sport that we do. But I cannot express that in the years that we've been teaching skiing, the joy, the empowerment, you get done and like the guides sit down, the athletes sit down, and we're all back, drinking our hot chocolate and having our chili. And there's just this, I don't know, just this level of that was the best day ever. I mean, we could ski in the stinking rain and we'd still get done and be like, another great day. Like, I just feel like that all the time. Like, that's just another great day. So I feel that with a lot of our sports and I love it, but there's just something about when you're, taking that to another level. So we're very, very thankful for what we have and the things that we get to do with our athletes.
Very cool. Well, as we wrap this up, what would be your charge to the community to get them to change the game?
Oh, goodness. Get educated. Get educated. Understand the blind sporting community. Understand that we put far too many limits on people that are blind because we just don't understand and because so many people are just afraid. And I think fear is driving people to not understand just what can be done. And I just think that if we can just show people, if we can just continue to push and make people understand that sports are a powerful tool for everybody, and movement and physical activity, whatever word you want to choose to use for that. But there's just so many people who just don't know how simple a modification can be that can change a person's life. People don't understand. It's not rocket science. I say this all the time. It is just stop and breathe for a second, and you'll realize how simple it is to modify a sport to make it work for so many different types of disability. But when we talk about blind especially, I think people just get so caught up and be intimidated by the blindness, they forget to look at the person as being so able-bodied. Yeah. And I want that to be the push, is like, let's get educated. Kids should be doing high school sports. Kids should be playing community sports. Yep. And when I say kids, I mean blind kids. Blind adults should be active in, recreation in their community. And it should just be a matter of fact. It shouldn't be a big deal. It should just be. And so that is my goal, that in my lifetime, that we get disability sport to the point where it just is. And it's just so normal. Today is the first day of the Paralympics 2024. Today's the opening ceremony. Yeah. And I think we're seeing more television coverage. We're trying to push it more on so many different websites and things. And I think it is the push to see, let's look at this at how completely normal it is, rather than looking at it as it's so incredibly different. So that, like Move United, a big pushes to have disability sport accessible within 50 miles of every person with a disability. And that's where we need to be. We need to make it. And by doing that, we need to educate people on how they can do it and how they shouldn't be afraid of trying and thinking outside the box, making sure that every kid grows up in an environment where they are educated on all the things they can do and not told about all the things they can't do.
What an amazing blessing. Thank you so much, Wendy. If people want to get a hold of you and learn more about Envision Blind Sports, how do they reach out to you and where do they go?
The easiest way is just go to our website, www.envisionblindsports.org. We also have a good presence on Facebook and Instagram, so you can always message us through there if you don't want to go through the website. And also, they can contact us through email. They can do a link through the website. My personal email is wfagan, really simple, Fagan, at envisionblindsports.org. Any way they choose, you can go on the website and find our contact information. We get people reaching out to us. It doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter, what state you're in. We'll do whatever we can to connect you to someone locally. And if there's not locally, just giving you education on what we can do to help, even if we're far away.
Man, that's incredible. Just for our listeners out there, Envision Blind Sports, it's ENVISION. Just in case you put in IN, it is ENVISION. Wendy, it was so amazing having you on the show, and we are going to have you back because we didn't even scratch the surface of some of the things that we can talk about. And so we'll definitely have you back. But yeah, the Olympics are going on, and congratulations to all of the athletes who are out there competing their butts off. Bring home gold, silver, bronze, and bring back even more amazing stories. Wendy, thank you so much for being a part of this conversation, and thank you for changing the game. We'll talk to you guys next week.